What's going on, traders, and welcome to my stream. In this video, we're gonna chat about what's been going on this week. Seems like so every single day I wake up at 8, 7, or something like that. 7 o'clock in the morning. Trade till about not 10:30 to 11, and then pretty much so come in, do your base hits and then pretty much bounce. That's kind of what the trend has been so far. And you come in, you do your thing, and it's just gonna be. Let me share. Let me share this one on Twitter so far. You write a nice email out. So basically, this week has been pretty interesting. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You send a quick email out. Um, has been pretty interesting so far. We have had, I think Thursday was the only day that I pretty much I didn't trade that well. I think in the beginning, Thursday starts out really slow, and then you get some movers in the middle of the day, or like in the middle of the day, like there's nothing. If we can get live now, reviewing the week. So Thursday has been pretty interesting. Probably the only day that I did not really, bake any and that much money. But overall, pretty good. Scanners are on point. Entries and exits are on point. And reviewing review week. There we go. Scanners are on point. I'm not sure how much I made so far, but we're gonna go talk about that one real quick. Let's see. Regular day at the office. But so far has been pretty good. Sadly, there's not a lot of there's not like a lot of opportunity. There's some opportunity, but there's not like a lot of opportunity. There's more like one or two or three opportunities throughout the day. And I'm gonna talk all about those. Let's see if I can edit the thumbnail real quick. Getting my thumbnail together. But you can ask your question. We have a couple of we had a couple of traders upgrade their membership. I had trying to upgrade their membership to a longer term because they're making money. Like I said, you need to subscribe to have me chat every single day to get you on the right mindset. If you're not really in the right mindset, you're just gonna get you're gonna get washed out. I take a lot of time doing spiritual, let's call it, or energy cleansing, or whatever you call it, to come up with these ideas. These ideas are not free. I don't give free ideas that much. I give about 20 minutes free market, talk about my ideas, and that's about it. That's I do my part. I've seen a lot of services do that, or some services they don't even do like 3 minutes. They do like nothing, and it's useless. So I do definitely more than the average person out there. But so far, waking up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, waking up each day. Sadly, I have to wake up each and every day at about 7, and it's pretty tough because I don't really like waking up. I'm not really a morning person, but I stream each and every day. But it's been a pretty good week. If I had to look at my P&L, has been positive, except for Thursday. Thursday was not that positive. I think on Tuesday I was flat. On Thursday, I was on Wednesday I traded one ticker, and on Thursday I traded two tickers that didn't work out. So each day I traded like one ticker and or one or two tickers, and pretty much I left and I recharged mostly my batteries. I think my body fat is like getting actually pretty much lower now. I think I'm like at 200 pounds. I was at like 203. I'm trying to get back to 190, so I'm really increasing my cardio. I really try to be like 190. I'm a little bit uncomfortable. Just sitting here with my newfound business. This business is probably gonna blow up in like 1 or 2 years. I think the overall market, the S&P 500, is probably gonna crash. We have had what's it called? The big short guy trying to come in the markets, and he was saying how he bet like 1.6 billion dollars. So he betted 1.6 billion dollars against the market. So if the market crashes, that means we're gonna get another stimulus, and the small cap market is gonna be like really hot. I mean, I've seen a lot of traders trade options like Meta. Meta kind of fell off a cliff. And Tesla just came from the 300s. So I've seen a lot of opportunity, trading big caps, and I've seen a lot of opportunity. Sadly, there's not a lot of opportunity to trade small caps, but if the market crashes, there's going to be a lot of opportunity trading small caps because when people receive that stimulus money, they put it they bought cars, B, they put it into the market, or they bought crypto. Right now, crypto is wiped out. They're not buying any new cars because they don't have the money or assets. So if they do get this stimulus money, it's probably going to be infused in the stock market. So because I don't know, is it like 1% of the wealth of, like, I don't know, like 60% of the wealth of the world is owned by two people, or like 1% of all people? Anyway, I'm gonna do my intro, and then we're gonna start out with like what's been going on each and every day, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I like to keep a log of all my trades that I did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because if you don't keep a log, you cannot improve. As well as I keep a log on my how much I bench press, or how much I how much weight I lift each day, and it's sadly I'm getting back up there to lift a bit there, but I think I'm still like 10% less. Now my bench is still like 245. 245. Is it 245? Around 245. So my chest is definitely getting stronger. Anyway, so I'm gonna give you a nice intro. Like I say, all my ideas are for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please do not trade money you cannot afford to lose, and just enjoy the ideas. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, don't come back to me that you tried my idea and it didn't work out. I tried my best to have that 100% win rate, but sadly, what's certain in this world? There's no such thing as certainty in the stock market. There's certainty that you're always gonna pay taxes. That's for sure, and you're eventually going to die. Nobody has ever lived forever, and I've seen some people a little bit depressed. The you know that the small cap market's not as hot. Like I say, walking, meditation. I do a bunch of that. I listen to audible books. Biking, whatever gets you going. Definitely keep yourself, shielded from, the outside noise. There's a lot of outside noise degeneracy going on all around the world. I mean, if you stay shielded from that and you focus your attention in the markets, I mean, I came in the markets and I took, I don't know, 20% or 10% or 20% each day, and I walked. And if you complicate your life, you're just not going to get that 10, 20, 30% anymore, and it's just going to turn on into a loss. And then you're going to have the frustration, and then you have the build up. So you got to become more of a minimalist, I would have to say. I guess I would have to say I'm a minimalist. So I don't have that pressure to paying the bills. But anyway, I'm going to talk all about it. Thank you for my 10-minute blab of how everything's been going. But we're going to talk every single day what I did, and how to improve, I guess. All right. So starting out with Monday, we had NEPT, CRKN, NEPT. I did manage to make. Actually, this was on 8/18. Was it? Oh, that was Friday. So you gotta bear with me. Gotta come into Monday. Monday is 8/14. Tasha was my greatest gain of the day. I think I overall I think I fat fingered this trade. 158 area. I think Tasha was I think the biggest mover on Monday. That was Tasha. Tasha pretty much. I mean, over here you can see there was a lot of chop over here. So due to the fact that I missed this downtrend break in the morning, you can see this clear downtrend break in the morning at around 125. I ended up chasing at 145, and I ended up adding at like 150 because I knew it was a big mover, and I ended up selling it all at like 179. Throughout the middle of the day, I mean, the stock pretty much trapped the shorts underneath VWAP. I'm sure everybody thought it's just everything's gonna be a gap and crap. And soon enough, I think this ticker hit. Was it? Did it hit like $3 or something? It hit $3 in the aftermarket. I thought about shorting the $3 mark, but I didn't short the $3 mark. I thought about shorting it because after $3, it just came back down to 180. So if I shorten the aftermarket, $3 because $3 is a round number, and we close at 220. I mean, how much higher can it go? You can just short it like 295, and you risk off 305. You're risking 10 cents to make like I don't know $1 a share. So that's like unrealistic good risk reward. So I don't really I mean if it works it works, if it doesn't you have to cut out your losses anyway. So touch I ended up going pretty well despite the fact that it was half awake around 8:30 to 9. I really watched, and I think I was busy. I mean, I ended up buying it over here and then buying it over here, and then my overall entry was around 150, and I sold it at like 180. So that ended up being a huge gain. Uh, uh, So the next ticker is probably gonna be PBLA. So as I wake up each morning, I have a bunch of stocks that are running in the middle in the pre-market, and they do have news, and they just don't continue going up higher. And this ticker, pretty much, I mean, it had potential coming up to the threes, but you see this candle PBLA. I mean, you had this big 45 million candle. The range between was 215. That was the base of it. And I mean, we could have went up to 220, 240, 260, 280, $3. You just never know. But as of right here, you can see that you had 50k, 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 and then 100k on the 1 minute, and then sadly it got short lived. So, you just never know in the morning, like how, I'd like to see continuous volume of 100K per 1 minute. And if I'm not getting continuous 100K per 1 minute, and the stock has, comes back down to $2, it's usually a dud, and that's the way it goes. You just don't know. It's either you take your 10 cents profit or 20 cents, let's call it $2 to 220, and you stop out because you just don't know. They release a lot of tickers, I mean, release news, and you just don't know which one will actually last. I don't know if I see this, the news was it. I don't know if this was the news. 814. There you go. Announces new patent in Europe for claims to novel production of whatever. So this ticker did have news. It's just you don't know how high it's gonna go. You just gotta watch for the volume, and you gotta trust the price action because you just don't know like if the volume's gonna show up or not. And in this situation, the volume showed up over 100K, and we flopped and actually lost on this ticker. And you gotta understand that these things happen a lot in crappy market. These pre-market pops and drop happen a lot if you don't take your loss. I had multiple big losses on these tickers, and that was that. The next trade, I think, was Tasha. I think on Tuesday. Let me see if I can get Tasha out. I traded DCTH and Tasha. So on the second green day, I started short into VWAP, which was around 220, risking off VWAP. So it pushed into VWAP. I waited for the stock to reject VWAP, and then I shorted, as it broke down this 1 minute candle around, I think it was 228. And it ended up being, I mean, I didn't really cover all of it at like 180 because that's how low it went. But I waited for the push. I thought about shorting above VWAP over here on the second green day on Tuesday, and I could have shorted pre-market, but I waited for the VWAP push, and that's the area to short, and then I waited for it to fail, and then I ended up shorting really well. 228 went back down to 210, and after this long consolidation, I was being short at 228, and I held most of it. The next day we had 180, and that's probably the area that I should have taken it out off. I think I took it off at 190. It ended up being a big gain, 10,000 shares short of 228. It ended up being a great gain, but that's it. That's what I did on Tuesday. I also traded another ticker, DCTH. This was a very choppy. As you can see that we pushed in the morning, and I mean this thing had potential. If I look at the daily, you had a 629 break, and I thought if you break that 629, we're gonna go to 8, and that was not the case. We didn't go. I really thought we're gonna go over this 629 area because that coincided with this daily resistance over here, and we broke that 629. But the way the stock acted, we had this humongous wick once we broke over this short sellers. These are the area their short seller sold, 629 area or 630 area. And once this this ticker, once I saw this wick candle, I got the F out because it was very choppy and very overcrowded. You can see we pushed, we went underneath, we had a VWAP reclaim, and then we had a fake out breakout. It was incredibly choppy, and I just didn't participate. You just don't have to participate in every ticker you trade. If for some reason you become uncomfortable in your trade and it didn't do what it wanted me to do, I just get out and call it. So once I saw this humongous rejection, because I thought it's gonna go much higher to the 650s to 8s. The ticker ended up going to 750, but I didn't have that much patience with it. So I took that out for flat. That was DCTH. The next ticker was Octo. That was on the 16th. I was live streaming in the morning, and then I used my midday scanners, which are specially built by me. Throughout because I have custom based scanners that scan for lower float stocks that move very abruptly at the open, and Octo moved abruptly at the open, and actually you can see that Octo did absolutely nothing throughout the pre-market, and suddenly we had Octo on my scanner, and I think there was a 3 milli float, and I think everybody was congratulating me how well I did on this ticker. So we pushed into VWAP, we hold VWAP, and then I bought the 135 break of this 3 milli float. I think I saw it. It had news on the 16th. I think it had. I don't really remember what the news was. Key milestone or something. Positive revenue. That's what it was. 20 million over here. Positive revenue. So that ended up going good. Bought it at 135. Sold for 20 cents a share. Actually, it hit 160, 135 to 160. Probably be, I don't know, 25 cents or more or less. Ended up being a great gain, 138 in at 155, and that was Wednesday. One trade per day keeps the job away. That was Wednesday. Moving on to Thursday. This is where things got pretty interesting because I didn't really, take Tasha out at 228 short. I kept holding it because I kind of thought it was gonna go much lower, and I traded a couple of two tickers. This is where things got a little bit harder for me. The number one ticker that I traded on Thursday were RCRT. I was trying to buy it as it did a VWAP reclaim right about here because I was looking at the daily and I was like, this is a textbook daily breakout of 26 with news. And I ended up getting dumped on pretty aggressively. And that was very nasty of this ticker. I think the date was on the 17th. Now it says 1 million. So they had an offering at a $2.50. I don't know what that. I don't know. They didn't have an offering. I'm sorry. So they had news, and then they spiked it, and then they had an offering. So that's kind of like what happened. And they spiked it, and the daily looked absolutely amazing to break that 26 and go into the that's kind of like the break I was looking for. Once we broke that 26 in the morning to go up to test those 50s, that's what I was thinking. That's to me that looked pretty good. I ended up stopping out pretty aggressively, and soon enough, in the middle of the day, I mean, we had this downtrend wedge pattern formation in 25, and we spiked to 50. So my idea worked out, but it only worked out in the middle of the day. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Sometimes you come in and it doesn't work where you want to buy it, and then it works out throughout the other day. The other ticker, I traded this other ticker. This ticker ended up not doing anything that I wanted. It was extremely hard to trade on Thursday. You can see the pattern here that both tickers that I did trade on Thursday, RCRT and AHI, were incredibly choppy. As you can see, AHI was also had this nice daily breakout of around 504. I thought it's going to go up to 7 because, that's the logical next resistance. So 504, I think I bought it out of the open. I bought it at 510. We spiked to 540, and instead of, I thought we're just going to break through 550 and we're gonna go to 6 or 650, and I can make my 20% and move on. But sadly, we got dumped on, and I was like, okay, maybe I should try it another time. And I tried it another time, and then it just was a turd. I mean, you try a ticker 2 times, and you lose on it. You're better off just not trading that ticker anymore because your timing is off and something's wrong. And obviously, this stock was choppy, and it didn't go where I wanted it to go. I mean, it broke 580 daily breakout, and I thought the next resistance was going to be 664 on the daily, and that wasn't the case. And I think I lost on RCRT and AHI as well. So there was just and Tasha. I didn't really cover my Tasha at 180. I cover like 190 or something. I really thought Tasha is gonna go down to 140s or something, but so those were like probably my Thursday trades were the only trades that I really felt it was very, you can see so here that we had a daily breakout of 26 and I got dumped on, and then here we had a very nice downtrend break over here out of the open, and we just rejected hard. A very choppy price action, and this is sometimes you're gonna get something like this and you're going to keep fighting. And if it goes against you 2 times, you better off just writing off the ticker and moving on. Anyway, Friday was my luckier day of the week. I think Friday was easy. The only day of the week that was just easy. I just came in, made a huge gain, and then left. And I had a 20 to 5% gain in RCRT. As you can see, I also try to hit that 230. I was buying CRCan and we hit that 230 like 3 times. One, two, 3 times. So I took it off for flat. This ticker, I looked at CRCan. So that's the ticker that I did take a flat on, and it's a good thing that I took that out for flat because I ended up rejecting pretty hard. But this is the ticker that I did take long. Any NEPT, I think I was talking about this ticker in my pre-market 5 minute 5 minute 20 minutes pre-market what is it, pre-market prep that I do each morning. I think I was buying it at 24 and I sold most at 31.5. I think most trader profited from this ticker. There was a lot of traders in the chat that profited from this ticker because it ended up being a very easy trade from 25 to 34 in just 20 minutes. I mean, you can say thank you for this ticker because you can see how hard it gets in Ahi or how hard it gets in RCRT. So it does get ugly. It does get hard, and seems like Friday was a easier day in NEPT. Overall, pretty good. Probably my sizing on Thursday was a little bit too heavy, and I started fighting a bit Ahi too much. And RCRT, I mean, I should have rebought it again once you see this downtrend over here at around 25, 26 in the middle of the day. But sometimes you just don't have the patience. So I think those are all the tickers so far. We're gonna see. We're gonna read a couple of messages if you guys posted anything in the chat, and then we're gonna move on to another week. Pre-market prep is gonna be at 9. And soon enough, what's the game plan for small caps next week? Wake up each morning at more Monday. I usually wake up later at around 8 because there's just no pre-market activity. I mean, we're not really in a hot market. We're more in a coldish market, and pretty much wait. Sometimes nothing moves till 9 o'clock on Monday. So that's about it. Lots of sub 50-cent stocks have been running on no news past few weeks. Don't like trading those. Well, there's been, RCRT. You're right. Let's see. RCRT, very nice. I mean, you got to take your gains and move on because this stock pretty much had an offering after it hit 46 and went down to 84. So you got to take your 20% and move on. But I mean, this ticker NEPT was pretty freaking easy. You just gotta have to take your gains and move on. And RCRT pretty good. I don't know if I traded any other under 50-cent stock. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. There were only like 3 of them. But you got to take your gains and move on because they might do an offering on you, and like RCRT did, and this other ticker in EPT ended up selling off after it hit 34. I think the close was like 20 cents. So got to take your gains and trade smart. Do not overstay your welcome. Hold on to your stop losses, and if you get stopped out 2 times, move on to another ticker. Other than that, you guys have a good one, and see you all tomorrow in the pre-market prep.